Alright, so hello guys and welcome once again, and today we are going to be playing some Counter Squad. So obviously you guys know and love the Camel Squad, and so do I, and today we are playing a little bit of a different version. We are still playing the Search Party Captains and the Packbeasts, of course. We are still playing the Chocomogs and one Borrowed Grace, and still the Walkers and the Ornithopters, and the mana base is completely the same, although we do not care about the artifact synergy anymore, which is, freeing a little bit, I would say. But there has been big changes in the one drop section, so we are playing a lot of creatures like the Iron Apprentice, which basically come with a counter, and when they die, they put a counter on something else. We are playing the Pupil, which is basically the same thing, but it's white, and the Bond Warden, which is basically the same thing, but it's a 1-2, which is, a little bit better than the Apprentice and the Star Pupil. And then the Cleric here is very similar, though it's not necessarily something that puts counter on other creatures when it dies, but when it ETBs, it does a Vigilance, and it obviously does synergize very well with the Apprentice, the Pupil, and the Bond Warden as well. The rest of the deck, we've got the Chocomog as a win condition and the Borrow Grace as a win condition number 5 here, and we also have some other win condition slash buff spells that work really well. The Courage here is pretty awesome with the flashback, we can put a +1/+1 counter on something, and it does gain Vigilance, which means it can attack and block. That's usually pretty important in the more aggressive matchups, but I do like the flashback. It basically draws us a card, right, since we can play it twice. And the same is true with the Guiding Voice. This card is a little underrated, I think. It's really cool. It's a sorcery, we put a counter or something, and then we can learn, which means we are playing 2 anatomies in the sideboard, which we can basically like draw or put them from the sideboard to our hand. And this is for 3, we can put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, and it does gain Vigilance yet again. So it basically does draw a card yet again, which I like a lot. I think a big advantage of this deck is actually it will have much more staying power in the late game, since your creatures can get really big, but the disadvantage is we are not playing the Inspectors, which means the card draw will be lagging a little bit, though we are still playing the Search Party Captain and the Packbeast as well. Now when we take a look at the sideboard, we are playing 2 Sanctifiers and 2 Light of Hope. Those are mostly against burn, though the Light of Hope can be destroying some enchantments or putting a counters on our creature, so it's very good, I think very versatile in a deck like this. And the Sanctifier does gain us 3 life. 3 Trabon Charms, extremely versatile. It can be a removal, it can be a graveyard hit against Spy, we can destroy some enchantments against Boggles. 2 Holy Lights against like elves or fairies, and obviously for Dust to Dust this is really good. And one of the reasons we are playing 19 lands, 16 plains, and 3 Secluded Steppe, we have some 3 drops in the deck, so it's pretty important to play more than 16 lands, and we are playing some Dust to Dust and Holy Light in the sideboard, and obviously we are playing the Anatomy as well, which we can search for with the Guiding Void. So I think this should be a lot of fun, and let's see how this deck actually works. Okay, so we go second against Hazer. This is a one-lander, and I don't like that. Let's mulligan. Okay, still a one-lander, but at least it's a plains. We can keep, I guess, and 1 Search Party Captain can go. They go for Radiant Fountain, interesting. Okay, let's go for the Apprentice. Okay, no lands again. Wow. We play 19, and we have struggled with lands quite a bit, although we should have at least like 2 in the opening hand usually. Really hard to do that for some reason. I think we will attack first, and let's run the Bond Warden. Prohibit, sure. I think this is Familiars most likely, right? Or something of that sort. I mean, no lands. I don't know what to do in this scenario, right? Like, okay, let's run, I guess, Star Pupil. Nightscape Familiar. Okay, it's Familiars, but different ones than we thought it would be. Homestead Courage. I mean, let me just attack with everything and like hope the Search Party Captain actually finds a land, because this is starting to get kinda crazy right now. Hey, we got it. Let's go for Enduring Bond Warden, I think. Back up itself. Model the Mixture, okay. We found a Tiding Blade, sure. I can see that. Let's sacrifice the Ornithopter. Another land, we can go Chocomog pretty happily here, right? Let's go Chocomog. Okay, they go to 9. We have Homestead Courage here, so we can put up to 3 counters on something. That's quite good. They go another Nightscape. That could be pretty scary. Focus the Mind, okay. Impulse and Ghostly Flicker. Guess we can sacrifice like the Apprentice. Counter on the Pupil. They will flicker again, sure. What's really cool about this is we are kinda not losing power, which is quite awesome. So we can just sacrifice the Pupil and put the counters on the Bond Warden and Impulse again. Okay, this turn was pretty explosive. I will admit this was pretty awesome from them. Okay, they have no mana. So this is, well, a lot of damage. They need to block. Can we make it so they have to double block is the question. We can, I think. So we can go Courage on the Bond Warden, Courage on the Bond Warden. Now they need to double block if they want to survive. So they are dead. Sweet. Sweet. Let's go to the second game. I'm not really sure what to bring. I mean, Holy Light seems okay. I think only the Traben Charms, right? Okay, 1 Homestead Courage, 2nd Homestead Courage, and 1 Chocomog. We'll bring triple charm for the familiars, and that's about it here. Here we could actually see how good it is to put the counters on something, since the creatures can become really big and pretty hard to deal with, so I guess that's the big advantage of this version. Obviously the card draw is a little bit worse because there are no inspectors in this one. I mean, yeah, here we are again, 19 lands, 0 in hand, need to mulligan. 1 lander, I mean, okay. Let's get rid of the Chocomog. They go Ice Tunnel. And during Bond Warden, we will play the... I guess let's play the Bond Warden first, why not? No Tiding Blade, please. Alright. We didn't find the land. You know, I'm done. Let's go to game 3. I'll just resubmit and go. I don't know what's up with this. Like, do I need to play like 20 and 21 lands even in these decks to actually find 2 or... Okay. Or, you know, it's like, it's never 2. It's either like 1 or 4. This hand is pretty bad. Let's mulligan. And here we are again. I mean, at least, yeah, let's keep. I mean, let's keep and Star Pupil on the bottom. It's fine. Let's go Steppe and let's run the Ornithopter too. Obviously, we are hoping for some lands or something. I mean, Ice Tunnel, sure. Hey, here's a land. That's good. We can go Pupil, Apprentice. No attacks. Best draws here would be probably like Salt Road, Packbeast, along with something like Search for the Captain. That would be great. Nightscape Familiar, we will instantly use a Traben Charm on this. Very scary. Another Plains, that's not bad. We are lacking cards though. Let's go Nightscape Familiar, we'll play the Pupil, we will attack with double here. And now we are, you know, kinda reliant on the draws. If we had the Traben Inspectors, we could correct the clues. We are not playing those as of right now. They go Navigator's Compass, that makes sense. Find Enduring Bond Warden, definitely, you know, it's something we can play, so it's pretty good. And let's play the Bond Warden. If they have something like Arms of Hadar, it's probably over. We will back the Bond Warden. And something is telling me they are playing Arms of Hadar, so this could be pretty scary. Even something like Drown in Sorrow is pretty bad, right? Cyclorian. Moment of Craving, okay. Let's put the counters on the Pupil. Find a Walker, I actually don't mind the Walker. Reason being that if they have something like Drown in Sorrow or the Arms of Hadar, the Walker actually survives that and we can put the counters on that, which is quite good. Compulsive Research. I actually like this version a lot. It's like Dimir Familiars with Nightscape. It's pretty sick. I like the idea. They play Archaeomancer too. They cast down this guy, but again, we can put the counters on something else. Let that be the Apprentice. So we are not losing power, and that's a big feature of this deck. And Chocomog is insane. We go down to 8. Need to find some answers soon. They go Mocking Sprite. So this is like another familiar in there. I guess that's cool. I kind of like that. You know, it's 3 mana familiar, but it's kind of cool. I'm not sure if I would play it personally, but it's a sick idea. I like it. Okay, here is a Guiding Voice, which is pretty awesome. We can try to put a counter on the Apprentice here, or maybe on the Pupil. Let's put a counter on the Apprentice instead. We will pick up the Expanded Anatomy. This is great for next turn. Then we will swing with everything. They need to block, I think, or maybe they have some removal in there. They will block. They will actually use the Ghostly Flicker on that. Very good for them, I think. They go down to 4. Let's see what they have. 1 card left. Card is Focus the Mind. That's a pretty good card. They will discard. Was it Lorien? Probably was, right? They'll Savor. Create the food. Sure. You can put the counters on the Apprentice again, and they will gain 3 life. Find a Phyrexian Walker. So, obviously they will block the biggest one, which is the Iron Apprentice, so we will expand it Anatomy. I think the Chocomog or something. But big props to Hazer. I think this is actually one of the coolest decks I've seen in a while, like Dimmer Familiars. This is actually pretty sick. I also like the Moment of Craving and all the blue spells in there. I bet they are playing like some Cryogenic Relics too in there. They just didn't draw them, I think. So we will run the Expanded Anatomy, I think, on the Chocomog or something. Maybe on the Ornithopter. Yeah, let's go on the Ornithopter. It does fly. And this means wherever they block, it should be a good game, right? Yeah, so that's the one against Dimmer Fams. It was a really fun game. I think I will maybe add some Traben Inspectors into the mix though for the card draw. Alright guys, I did make a couple of changes. I've added some Inspectors and a 4th Secluded Steppe to have total of 20 lands, and now we are going first against Kent. It does appear that having 20 lands still doesn't mean we will hit 2 in the opening hand. second, but that's fine. We will gladly keep this one with double Walker, especially when going first, right? I've also removed the Courage, and I've kept the 2 Guiding Voices, since I think the 3 mana spell that puts 2 +1/+1 counters on something is much more valuable than the flashback from the Courage. We will play a Plains, we will go for a Walker, and Bond Warden. We have turn 2 Search Party Captain, which is always great, and especially if we draw land, we are pretty happy about all of this. They seem like a red deck. I love those lands though, pretty beautiful. We go Fateless Looting, that's probably burn, right? Oh, never mind, this is something else. This is probably Reanimator. Okay, wow. Here is a Chocomok, so I think we will attack with everything and go for a Search Party Captain. Find the Plains, beautiful. We can go for the... I guess the Iron Apprentice. If we draw land, it would be beautiful again. Yeah, so this is Rakdos Reanimator. I kind of respect that. Maybe they're playing some green as well for the Brambleworms. Okay, end step. We do find a land which is extremely beautiful. That's why we play 20 of them. And here's a Chocomog, and this will be quite a lot of damage actually. We will hit them for 9. So they need to find a way to get a creature on the board. If they don't, we have a Guiding Voice here. They cycle a Troll, so they may do something like Exhume. Find a Swamp with a Troll. They go Lotus Petal, alright. They will Dread Return the Brambleworm, gain 5 life, and they will Dragon Breath. What exactly does a Dragon Breath? The creature has haste. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think they will keep this for blocks though. Yeah, end step. We have a Salt Road Packbeast, which I'm a big fan of. I think before we do anything else, we can just play the Packbeast, see what that brings. Traban Inspector, I like it. We can put a Guiding Voice on something. I think it will be something like the Bond Warden, because if it dies, the counters are much more valuable there. Oh, and I clicked through... It's so easy to click through the learn trigger, but I did that, so we don't have the lesson. That's pretty bad, actually. Well, let's attack with everything. I should have left out the Chocomog, though. Okay, making mistakes already. Let's go for the Traban Inspector. By the way, we should have had the lesson. I clicked through it. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. I think that would be extremely helpful if we had that. Fateless Looting. I could also see playing some Relics of Progenitus in this deck, to be honest. I think they could be quite good. They go Fateless Looting. We win the first game, even though we made that mistake. That's good. So, what do we need to bring here? Dust to Dust is pretty useless. Light of Hope could destroy something like the Fangs, or the Dragon Breath, but it doesn't really make sense. I do love some Traban Charms though, I will say that. So we will take out double, I guess, Novice Inspector. Let's run a Traban Charm. And then probably 1 Iron Apprentice for the third one. Alright, it does look like we won't be escaping those one-landers anytime soon, even with 20 lands, but we will keep, especially when going second. We have the Mog, if we somehow reach 3 lands, we have an Ornithopter in there too. I like it. By the way, I could see playing 3 Phyrexian Walkers, and rather, for 4 Walkers and 3 Ornithopters, since the Walkers are much more resilient to things like Breath Weapon, Arms of Hadar, or Drowned Sorrow. Find a Secluded Steppe. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Something we can play. Let's run the Ornithopter and followed by the Bond Warden. Back up. They did find the Brambleworm. Exhume probably. Yep. Oh, where's the Crusher? That's bad. Packbeast. Yeah, this is concede already. Can't beat the Crusher. Let's go to game 3. Yeah, I guess we could add some Relics of Progenitus. Maybe instead of something like the Holy Light or something. What? Dust to Dust, Light of Hope. They could go for Relics. But then we don't have a great matchup against Burn if we remove the Life Cane. You're going first, and hand is pretty sweet, although it has only 1 land. Maybe we can work with this one. Let's keep. They go down to 4, probably not ideal. They go down to 3. I think we might win just on them mulliganing so much. But decks like theirs are pretty high roll and not very consistent usually. I've seen they're playing something like Lotus Petal, so we will run the Walker, Ornithopter, and the Apprentice. Best draw, obviously a land, and it's a land for like 2 turns in a row, right? They go Peat Bog. Find another Walker, slowly getting closer to the Packbeast. Let's attack for 1. Okay, looks like they won't survive the mulligan, but maybe they will try to play. They have written in the chat. Yeah, just go Exhume and probably will concede. I guess that's 2-1 against Reanimator. Got a little lucky there, but we will take it. Okay, we do go second against Jack, and it's pretty sick actually. We can play Double Topter and the Steppe on turn 1, and then turn 2 we can play the Captain, so this is fine, let's keep. We go for the Gorge, looks like Rakdos Madness probably. Here's the Inspector, so change of plans, we will go Topter, and the Inspector. Best draw would be probably a Plains, I think. They will probably play like a Vampire's Kiss. Yup, here it is. The classic right there. And step. Okay, Inspector is definitely not bad. We will triple attack with the and use the Search Party Captain here. Best draw a land once again. Borrowed Grace is fine. We will play the tapped step A and we will say go. Okay, Faithless Looting. This will probably be a Kitchen Imp. Best draw is definitely a land, right? Yep, here is a Kitchen Imp. Okay, we get hit for 2. We can't block anyway, so this is completely fine. Maybe a land. Hey, here is a land. We like that a lot. So let's attack with everything. This will be a pretty nice turn, I think. Wait, how much damage is Borrowed Grace? Not that much yet, but I think it will be quite good in the future. Let's run the Search Party Captain. We could run the Chocomog, but I think I will wait for next turn. This turn we will go Bond Warden, back up on that, and probably the Inspector as well. Next turn we can either Grace or Chocomog, it really depends. We'll go Faithless Looting again. Looks like another Kitchen Imp. Here it is. Double attack, yeah, they are pretty dead here, I think. Okay, so this is how much damage? So this is 7 damage, and we have, yeah, they are so dead, it's crazy. Okay, so we do +2/+0, and suddenly this is like, yeah, 21 damage. So we win the first game. I guess they didn't draw some lands. I think they missed like a 1 or 2 land drops, which is not ideal. I'm not sure if I like Tribune Charm against them. I do like the Sanctifier. I'm not sure if I like Light of Hope though. Can ditch the Novice Inspectors, run the Sanctifiers, and I think in the sideboard I will remove the Light of Hope. But now I think we want to sideboard that. Okay, 1 Light of Hope at least. I'm not sure if they are playing the artifact version or the non-artifact version. I would think the non-artifact since they are playing Razor Tap Gorge. Okay, they mulligan down to 6. We will keep. This hand is fine. Epicure, turn 1. Sanctifier. Okay, if they have a C, let's play an Ornithopter, and I would normally play the Pupil, but if we block and they have end the festivities, we are pretty cooked. So because of that, I think we will just play the Tribune Inspector, which can be a great blocker, and then 1 creature survives if they have like the end the festivities, right? And that's pretty important right now, I think. We do find the Sanctifier, which is great. They go looting, probably a Kitchen Imp there. Never mind, it's a Bolt and Epicure, probably trying to find lands. No attacks. Inspector is nice. Let's play the Plains. I'm thinking we could attack with the Inspector, play another Inspector, and then I'm thinking Guiding Voice. If they discard a Kitchen Imp, we actually want to counter on the Ornithopter too. But for now, let's go for the Sanctifier instead. Right, so like if they discard a Kitchen Imp, the Ornithopter would be awesome as a 1/3. But we don't necessarily know if that's gonna be the case. They play Jagged Barons. They go down to 21. And they grab the prize, the Galvanic Blast away, which deals 2 damage. They draw 2. Looks like that's it. Another Bond Warden is pretty sick. The question is, do we cycle the step A or do we play it right now? That's kind of the question. I think we will play it because of the clues. So let's play the step A. And we might Guiding Voice. Could be a good play next turn. We probably want to protect ourselves against and the festivities as well. So let's Guiding Voice the Sanctifier. I'm not afraid of Kitchen Imp anymore at this stage of the game. We will definitely learn Expanded Anatomy. I almost click no again. That would be pretty funny. Let's attack 4/4. And let's run the Bond Warden. We will... I kind of want to put the counter on the top there, I will be honest. I will. And I will do that only because of the possibility of a Kitchen Imp. Sweet. We can use the Anatomy on the Bond Warden. Her ability works still, right? Okay, Fire Temper. That's 3 damage to us. And Fire Temper. They actually killed the Sanctifier with the Temper. They didn't target our face. That's pretty interesting. Find the Iron Apprentice. Let's try Expanded Anatomy on the Bond Warden first. Works, awesome. And we can, I think I will still leave up the Ornithopter for the you-know-who Kitchen Imp. I don't want to take the damage from it. They go down to 11. We will pass the turn. Next turn we can do Apprentice plus Pupil. Then we can start cracking the clues. If we draw land, we can start cracking the clues already. And Chocomog is great. Search Party Captain is great. And the Salt Road Packbeast is great as well. They recast Faithless Looting with Flashback. Here's the Kitchen Imp. I'm really glad we kept the Ornithopter there. And Jagged Barons. And step another Bond Warden. So we are just playing our hand. Attacking for 2. Bond Warden, Apprentice, and a Pupil. Even if they have End the Festivities, which would usually be something like a weakness of this deck, I guess. This is awesome since we can put the counters on something else and make it really big and be able to attack later. They go Vampire's Kiss. Okay, another Kitchen Imp, sure. So they can attack with them if they want to. They will draw. Looks like they found another piece, probably Arms of the Vein. Never mind, it's Fire Temper. Are they targeting the face now? They could target the Ornithopter, they will target the Bond Warden. I'm not sure about that, to be honest, at all. Let's target the Apprentice, and they will draw. I would personally kill the Ornithopter so that both of the imps could attack, but here is a snacker, and that's it. Iron Apprentice is cool. Let's crack a clue first. Star Pupil is nice. We will attack. Can attack for 3. Yeah, I think we will just attack for 3. Keep it really simple. They have a double block. Please be my guest. 3 counters on something. Let it be the Star Pupil. And let's also play the Star Pupil number 2. It's like grab the prize maybe. Arms of the Vein. Yeah, that's awesome for you. Okay, they pick up a Swamp with the Carnarium. And let's see if they attack. I don't think they will. Okay, we have a Plains. So let's crack the clue. See what we find. Another Plains. Alright. How much damage is that? Not sure yet. But I think we will attack with 3 guys like that. For sure. Okay. We can put the counters on something else again, which is very good. They have some good blocks here. They can use that to their advantage. Here is one of them, and they will actually trade the snacker. Okay, so one counter goes on the Inspector and the second goes on the other Inspector. Now they are very good attackers. And let's go for the Iron Apprentice as well. Love it. Combat, no attacks, and end step. All right. Find a Salt Road Packbeast. Very awesome. Let's draw first. Find a Walker. That's pretty good. We will attack with everything but the Ornithopter. Still want to keep that imp at bay. They can block the Apprentice, but then they are, you know, really low. That's already 8 damage. Let's put a counter on the Ornithopter actually. It can attack into the imp and trade. They will bolt, and will they bolt the face or the Ornithopter? That's smart because now they can attack with the imp. Let's run the Walker. I guess we can play the Plains too, and we will say go. We have 4 lethal attackers on the board now. Wait, what happened with the bolt? I thought it would kill the Ornithopter. What happened? Well, I guess that's 2-0 against Rakdos Madness. It was pretty close at times, but we have a pretty decent matchup if they have a slower start, so GG. So we are back with the conclusion, and I was very positively surprised with this version of Camel Squad. I think it's a little bit better in general than the original version of the deck. The reason for that being that you have a much more staying power in the later stages of the game with the +1/+1 counter cards. They can get really grindy. I would actually maybe play only 3 top tiers and 4 Phyrexian Walkers. Reason for that is if your whole board is removed by something like a Breath Weapon, a Drown in Sorrow, or Arms of Hadar, the Walker actually does survive that since it has 3 toughness. And then what you can do is you can put all the counters from the creatures on the Walker and you have one very big attacker. Obviously the Ornithopter doesn't survive those spells usually, right? I did add the 4th Steppe and I was pretty happy with that. Like you guys have seen, I had some problems with lands. You usually want at least 2 lands in the opening hand if possible, and it doesn't really matter if those are the Plains or the Steppes. You just want the 2 lands since you have some 3 drops which are really important for you since they are your finishers. But the deck is still really fast, really awesome. The card advantage wasn't there before, but once we added the Inspectors, 4 Traben and 2 Novice, that really disappeared. I do love the clues. It's really important in the later stages of the game to keep your hand reflowing, so I think that's very nice. And the sideboard, I have removed 2 Light of Hope since I think your life gain has to be a creature in this deck since, you know, all of your payoffs do care about that. So 4 Sanctifiers I think is the play. I do like the Charm. I also do like the Anatomy. It's a little bit of a finisher in this deck, so you can fight that with the Guiding Voice, of course, pretty awesome. And for Dust to Dust, Holy Light and Tribal Charm, those are the classics. You could also play some Journeys to Nowhere if you are facing really big decks, really big creatures like Writing Chrysalis or Dredges or Reanimators or decks like that. I could also see actually playing some Relics of Progenitus against the graveyard decks. Since you don't really care about the graveyard anymore, you could definitely be playing some Relics instead of like the Holy Lights or something, or like one Dust to Dust as well. But yeah, let me know what you think about this deck. I personally love it. I love the Camel Squad, but let me know what would you change and how do you like the deck, and see you soon. Have a great day and bye.